So Republicans have decided to go all in with blame and pointing the finger at Democrats and the left and media figures for the attempted assassination of President Trump. They're not letting this moment go to waste. Now, by the way, this is crazy to say, but I'm going to say it, okay? At least as of this moment, now this may change, it may even be likely to change, right? But as of this moment, Trump has been way more responsible than other Republicans who are commenting on this. Trump has been the one who's posting about love and unity and the country standing together and all that stuff. Other Republicans are like, I'm blaming everybody who I don't like. I'm blaming you for the attempted assassination of President Trump. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of ones to get to. And let's start with this one. This one's low-hanging fruit, man. This is Lauren Boebert. She has the IQ of a gnat, and she's going to flex that for us here.
I believe that much of the rhetoric from the left has escalated to this moment. Just last week, we saw Joe Biden trying to excuse his poor performance at the debate and get that behind him and say, now we need to put Trump in a bullseye. President Trump was literally put in a bullseye after the president of the United States, the sitting president of the United States, called for him to be put in a bullseye.
I'd like to clarify what you just said. Do you believe that President Joe Biden bears any responsibility for what happened today, or does the responsibility for the shooting lie with the shooter?
I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today.
He gave her such an easy out. Hey, do you believe the shooter is responsible for the shooting, or do you blame President Biden, who, by the way, since it happened, has come out 3 times within 2 days to be like, political violence is wrong, political violence is bad, don't do this, we're against this, we should solve our problems with civility and debate and discussion, we shouldn't do this. By the way, let me pause all of my campaign ads out of respect. She's saying, no, it's Biden's fault, directly.
Innocent supporter of President Trump, someone who loved President Trump and was there exercising their right to support him, lost their life today. Everyone who has called him a fascist, everyone who has called him a threat to democracy, who said that he should be put in a bullseye, as Joe Biden said, they need to have some very deep reflection tonight before another tragedy like this takes place.
Okay, let me say this as clear as I can. Murder is bad. Murder is wrong. Attempted murder is bad and wrong. It's immoral. It's unethical. Nobody should do it. It is also the case that Trump is a fascist and Trump is a wannabe dictator. And Trump said he wants to suspend or terminate the Constitution. Look, we can't live in this fantasy world where now Trump gets a free pass on all of his policy beliefs because somebody tried to kill him. No, the correct perspective is I'm against the attempted assassination, and I'm also against the entire ideology. I'm against Project 2025. I'm against the tax cuts for the rich. I'm against the deregulation of the corporations. I'm against the increase in the drone war and the endless wars and the funding of Israel and the other 794 things that he's going to do in a second term. So you can't say, hey, Kyle, you're not allowed to discuss facts because of what happened. No. I can condemn what happened because I'm against murder as a matter of principle. I can condemn that and also tell you the truth about Trump. And that's where, look, I understand why Biden said I'm not going to do any campaign ads right now. But also, like, shit, why don't you just literally go grab a white flag and wave it for this election and say, just hand the keys to the White House over to Donald Trump today while you're at it, right? You're not going to run any ads against him at all? I mean, what are we doing here? So now it's like, sorry, I am forced to now agree with every aspect of your ideology because this horrible thing happened to you. No, I'm against the horrible thing happening to you, and I'm against your entire policy agenda. There is no contradiction there whatsoever. Bill O'Reilly, who's still doing a show, by the way, amazing. He comes out, this is a disgusting, deplorable, pathetic segment, which I'm about to show you. What does he do? He's literally going to go through like a list of everybody in media that he has a grudge with and blame them for the shooting and try to get them fired. All right, here we go.
We've got to stop the hate brigades on television and in print to a lesser extent. We've got to stop these people. And you and I can do it. We can stop the hate brigades. Now, who are they? And I'm going to name some of them in a moment. They're the people that throw out on both sides, but primarily on the left. Okay, the stack is about 6-1. Terms like Nazi, fascist, racist, anti-democracy, routinely throw it out.
What am I supposed to do, Bill, if Donald Trump tried to overthrow the last election with a fake election slate or fraudulent elector slate? Their words, not mine. They said, we think this is illegal, but should we go ahead with it anyway? Yeah, I think you should go ahead with it anyway. What am I supposed to do, Bill? Am I supposed to pretend like January 6th didn't happen and the fake electors didn't happen? So when people say, hey, that's anti-democracy, that is a statement of objective empirical fact. That is not an opinion. And so now I'm not allowed to bring up actual things that happened in reality because some psychotic person might take that and twist it in a way in their head that I can't control, and then they try to go do some violence. No. Again, I'll say it as clearly as possible. Murder is wrong. Don't do it. And also, trying to overthrow elections is wrong, and you shouldn't do that. Right? And all these other, well, you call us this and you call us that. Okay, but what if the label applies? What if the label applies? So again, we're not allowed to say it now? Okay, here we go.
That is a hate brigade. These people, some of them, are paid by big corporations to hate. Now, I've been doing commentary for 27 years. I don't do hate. I do criticism.
He said, I don't do hate. Okay. Do you guys remember a guy by the name of Dr. George Tiller? Go look this up. I want you to go look this up. Dr. George Tiller was an abortion doctor. Bill O'Reilly went on a crusade against him and called him Tiller the baby killer, Tiller the baby killer, Tiller the baby killer, all the time. You know what happened? Somebody murdered George Tiller. Murdered him. He says, I don't do hate. Look, I'll let you make your own conclusions about how responsible he is for that or not. But the idea that he's going to chastise others, why? For mild, banal, standard criticisms of Trump? Again, we'll get to it. Here we go. He's going to do his list.
I try not to do ad hominem. Very, very rarely will I bring that argument in, because my arguments are usually fact-based or stronger than the arguments against me. I win the debate almost 99% of the time. As you know, you guys have been watching me for a while.
Sure you do.
But the haters go on and they try to destroy the opposition. All the MAGA people are idiots. All right? They're beneath contempt. If you like Trump, I'm not talking to you. You can't work in Hollywood if you like Trump. These are the haters. Okay, so let's get specific. MSNBC is the most hateful network in the history of the United States. It is run by Comcast, NBC News. Comcast is a very profitable corporation out of Philadelphia. Its CEO is a guy named Brian Roberts, who I hear is a decent man. But Mr. Roberts allows hatred every single day, pays for it on MSNBC. The primary offenders on that network are a woman named Joy Reid, who is branding people racist almost every hour on the hour, in my opinion.
I can't believe it. I'm no fan of these people, but he's going to make me defend these people because he's trying to get them fired.
For years, brings a level of scorn to anyone he disagrees with politically. A horrible person, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly would know nothing about bringing a level of scorn to people he disagrees with. That's not like his entire brand or anything like that.
And there are others too, but those two consistently do it. Reid and O'Donnell. Now, Brian Roberts is responsible for that. Not Reid and O'Donnell.
This is his way of trying to prod the executive. Fire them. What are you waiting for? Fire them. We got more. He goes after Joy Behar.
And the chief cheerleader of that hate is Joy Behar. And she has been doing this for decades.
Again, I don't even like these people he's going after, but guys, this is his response to an assassination attempt against Donald Trump. He's just going through a list of his enemies, a list of the people he doesn't like, and he's trying to get them fired. And by the way, is he going to bring up specifics? You said this thing. You said this thing. No, it's just vibes. It's just, I don't know, you maybe called Trump a fascist at one point because he is, or a dictator because he is. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm against it. Therefore, sorry, you gotta go.
And she gets a check every week from Disney, which is run by a man named Bob Iger. Okay? Iger is apparently okay with Joy Behar, who's been there forever. Hating.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about hating. It's not like this entire segment is literally, I hate these people.
Am I wrong? And we go over to CNN.
He's just going to go through a list of everybody.
Acosta. Is there anyone who hates Donald Trump more than this individual?
Okay, does that mean he told the shooter to go do it? He said, I believe somebody should assassinate Donald Trump. No, he didn't do that. What are we doing here? 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 Okay. Look, it goes on. Let's see who else he's got. He's got another CNN host. He goes on, Liz Cheney, Maxine Waters, Morning Joe, all these people basically like, they're responsible. Okay, Bill, if you insist. And then we get to this. Again, this is in the moment. Like right after the Trump shooting, his rally attendees started screaming at the media saying it's their fault. Listen.
Why? You! Why you? It's you! This is your fault! Every asshole! This is your fault! It is your fault! This is your fault! You! This is your fault! Your fault! This is your fault! You! Come on!
Screaming at the media saying it's your fault. Now, by the way, let's be clear. It's not. But also, the people that they're yelling at are like 3 tiers below anybody with actual power, right? Like you're yelling at a cameraman for CNN and MSNBC and all these different networks. That's what you're doing. You're yelling at a cameraman. Stinky, that was aggressive. You're yelling at maybe like a reporter who just does like the dry news type stuff. You're not yelling at any like pundit or opinion host here who said something specifically you don't like about Trump, like somebody like Acosta, right? You're not even yelling at them. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm still not done, man. Look at this. Look at this tweet. Do you think they feel responsible? And it's a picture of Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, literally the most bland man on the planet. I don't think he's given an opinion since roughly 1989. Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver. Do they feel responsible? Do you think they feel responsible? I don't think so. Not liking Trump, calling out his policy agenda, disagreeing with him, calling him words that fit, like authoritarian. That's not like you feel responsible for somebody who tried to murder him. Let's see what the response was. I think the guy who tried to assassinate Trump was radicalized by liberal late-night comedy. Yeah, by the way, Jimmy Fallon is the goofiest weirdo in the world. He's just a guy who desperately wants to fit in and tries endlessly to fit in and fails. And I mean, just the most bland, nothing show you've ever seen. And conservatives are blaming them. What am I supposed to do with these people? All right, look at this. Mike Collins, he's a politician. The Republican district attorney in Butler County, Pennsylvania, should immediately file charges against Joseph R. Biden for inciting an assassination. By the way, what are they focusing on? Some offhand comment Biden made a while ago where he's like, look, you guys are hyper-criticizing me. It's time to put Trump in the bullseye. Okay, obviously what he means is put the focus on Trump and call out his BS. He doesn't mean literally put him in the bullseye and try to kill him, but everybody's playing professionally stupid and saying that is what it means. And I'm not kidding, that's what they're using as their example. And then they say, look at this tweet where he calls Trump a threat to democracy. Yeah, maybe he called Trump a threat to democracy because he tried to overthrow the last fucking election. Maybe that's why he called him that. And maybe that's accurate. And maybe that's correct. And you just don't like that he said that. That did not lead to anybody shooting at Trump. By the way, all the information we have right now, this guy's a Republican. He was either a total psycho lone wolf type, or he was to the right of Trump and thought Trump was a moderate and a sellout, and that's why he shot at him. He could have been like a Groyper or a neo-Nazi type. This is what we know right now. And they're blaming Joe Biden. Yeah, as if anybody is taking Joe Biden's own staff isn't taking marching orders from Joe Biden at this point. He's in bed by 8 o'clock, homie. He ain't doing anything. All right. And I have to point this out. SCOTUS said Joe Biden has immunity. Yeah, even if Biden did order this, which he didn't, as everybody knows, with a brain. Well, SCOTUS just said anything remotely within the realm of official actions is protected. And you can't even look into their motives. If they say it's an official action, we're done here. It's an official action. So again, now all of a sudden, criminally go after the president. You guys were saying 2.5 minutes ago, no president you should go criminally after, because it was Trump that they were going after. Then you were like, president should have total immunity. Now you're like, forget immunity, lock this guy up, even though he didn't do anything on this front. J.D. Vance came out and said, today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. The rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Again, the guy's a registered Republican. The guy was either lone nut, crazy person, or to the right of Trump and thought Trump was a moderate and a sellout. The reason why people call Trump an authoritarian fascist is because his actions and his policies make him an authoritarian fascist. When he was president, he signed a pro-torture executive order. What would you like me to call that? Well, what word would you like me to call? He's a torturist? No, he's an authoritarian and a fascist. Duh, that's what he is. But no, if you say that, if you tell the truth, now all of a sudden you're responsible for it. This is bullshit. They're pointing the finger in every which direction, and they're flailing. And again, by the way, to give credit to Trump, at least as of this recording, he's not the one who's saying this stuff. He's out there like unity and love, etc. And these guys are like, I blame Jimmy Kimmel. Like, okay, another one. So this is the quote people are citing. Let's read this here. We have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'll be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in the bullseye. And then this guy, Mike Collins, Joe Biden sent the orders. He sent the orders. How loathsome is this guy to try to pretend like that's what happened here? By the way, immediately after the assassination attempt, this was on the billboard in Butler. Look at this. Democrats attempted assassination. I'll say it one more time. Homie was a registered Republican. So there you have it. Look, anybody and everybody is going to be blamed. If they're slightly left of Attila the Hun, they're going to blame you. Don't fall for that BS trick. There is no contradiction here. For you to say, I'm against murder as a matter of principle. Murder is bad. Murder is wrong. So is attempted murder. That's bad. That's wrong. You can say that. You can say that. And you can also say his entire policy agenda and what he stands for is bad. And he is an authoritarian. He is a fascist. And he is barely hiding that. He said he wants to suspend and terminate the Constitution. You can point out both the facts and the basic moral truth that murder is wrong. Don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that's not the case. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.